Hello and welcome to the Cabin Boy Knits Woolcast, coming to you deep from the Canadian forest.
This is Christopher.
And this is the other guy,
Jamie.
We are just back from Montreal.
Last night, as a matter of fact, nous avons finalement rencontré nos amis Quebecois
from the Knit City Festival, and it was amazing. If you want to hear more, sit back, grab your favorite drink, and we'll tell you our story. We are off to Knit City, to the beautiful city of Montreal.
It was a challenge. We had more than could possibly fit in that van, but it's all packed in there. So happy road trip to us. And we're off to the races. Well, it's not a race. We're going to take our time because it's a long haul to Montreal. How many hours is it?
It's going to be 4 hours, three and a half to 4 hours, but it's ice rain, so we're going to take our time.
Well, it's just raining now. It's above zero. It's not that cold, so fingers crossed. Sunshine follows me everywhere I go, so the sun's gonna come out.
Just like Annie. We managed to pack in all of our stuff into this little van. I'm amazed. Jamie did an amazing job.
There's more this way. We squeezed every inch that we could into this van. Seriously, folks, do you think you could fit anything else in there? Just my big butt.
You said it, not me.
I'm still Jamie from the block. Used to have a little, now I got a lot. But I'm still Jamie from the block.
Your bag, your sandwich bag doesn't go with your shoes. Day, and we have just finished setting up at Knit City Montreal.
We're so excited. I don't know if I'm tired or excited.
I think you're both.
Yes.
I'm both anyway. I'll just flip it around and show you what our booth looks like. So we are back. How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
I'm pretending I'm not tired.
Well, you look pretty good for somebody who's tired. I'm tired.
Well, I haven't looked in the mirror.
But you had a massage yesterday, so that would be a little pick
I can move my neck today.
Oh, that's good. And I can speak today because I lost my voice on Sunday.
You did. See, you think about it, we're cooped up in the cabin forever. And, other than me talking to the animals, we don't have anybody we talk to regularly. Hi, Ann. How's it going? He always knows when we're on camera. Well, see, there he goes.
You know what happens? There are birds building their nests right now on the porch.
And there's also, if it's not that, it's the fox.
Oh, yeah.
The fox walks practically, I'm distracted, walks practically across the Zan.
Okay, well, I'm going to check it out.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What is it? Sit, please. Sit, please.
How can you turn down that face?
Sit. You sit. He wants to go chase the fox or the animal or the bird or this is a daily routine now.
How can you say no to that face?
Yes. No, we don't need to hunt today. Thank you very much. We're trying to do a podcast. And I will try to steal the show. We were going to bring him to Montreal, but then we thought, do we just put one of those jackets on it? And, I assume that because he was originally a therapy dog for us.
And how's that going for you?
I know, exactly. I'm thinking, where's my therapy dog when I need him at Knit City? you know, in the early hours of setting up and getting there and all of that. So
I will say that
stink breath.
Zan was very popular at Knit City, even though it wasn't
Well, everybody
there.
was asking about him. They're like, oh, it's Cabin Boy Knits. Where's Zan? And I'm like, did you forget someone?
They did not say
the
that.
other guy.
Yeah, that's made up.
Okay, so
I did say, though, what I would do is have a picture of Zan in our booth the next time.
no.
Yes.
I'm going to smuggle him in under in a little package of sorts.
Can you imagine Zan at the festival? He loves people so much, he'd be...
Booths would collapse. People would be dragged around the room because I've been pulled to the ground at least only once.
Yeah.
That he pulled me right down to the ground. Didn't happen again after that because I'm a little more, yeah.
Okay, so have you had your airtime? Do you feel
He'll be
good? Do you
back.
feel good now you've had your airtime on camera?
Well, everybody
How about we
missed
lie
him because
down
I
now?
didn't see him at Knit City.
No. How about we lie down? Let's go lie
Okay,
down.
so
Come on, let's lie down.
how did we start off?
Good boy. We started off by packing. Packing's a big thing. I was very concerned about you because you spend a lot of time focused on clothing, and you usually leave it till the 11th hour.
And what's funny is that he had a message from one of our, friends. We won't name names. She was in a booth just down from us, and
You mean Delphina?
she had sent her photos of her outfits for every day, afternoon, evening wear, for planned all along. And then
Yes.
Christopher started. He goes, I gotta plan my outfits. I packed the morning of, or late at night. I
Yes.
threw stuff in a suitcase. That's it.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, so anyway, we got everything packed, and we managed, we packed 13 pairs of shoes for two.
Okay,
Did you want me to say that?
I didn't think it through, only because I thought
13 pairs of
casual
shoes between
shoes,
the two of
comfy
us.
shoes, then my winter shoes, because, I thought if there's snow and slush, because it's Montreal, I wore those there for the move and all of that.
Yeah.
And then my comfy shoes to wear during the show,
Yep.
and I don't know, I ended up with extra shoes I didn't even wear. I don't know how that happened.
Did you bring any clothes that you didn't wear?
Of course I did. But only a couple of things.
That's good. I think you did.
Like 2 things.
Yeah, you done
No, my
good by it.
suitcase was light. Yours weighed 500 pounds. Mine
know.
weighed 25
It did.
pounds.
How come mine only weighed 25 pounds on the way back?
It took us 2.
Did I leave?
Well, I
was
had
there?
more in my
I don't-
suitcase because
Oh,
I put extra in my suitcase
Okay.
because it took the 2 of us to lift your suitcase into
Yeah.
the vehicle.
No, I thought you did a great job of packing this time. And you need to open up your own business in packing vans. We had so much stuff to lug to Montreal, and you packed the van. There's no way I thought we're ever going to fit it into one van.
No.
I thought we'd have to take 2 vehicles there, but you managed to get everything in.
Yeah,
It was amazing. I was
creative.
amazed.
It was like a jigsaw puzzle. We had the whole other half of the cabin floor covered in, bins of yarn
Yes.
mostly.
Yeah.
And then, have you noticed our display behind us? It's not there because that display came to Montreal. So
Yes.
that wall, plus the bins, etc., in a small van.
Yes.
And every inch of it was taken.
Yeah.
But it all fit. When I was getting 2/3 done, I thought, this isn't happening. We're going to have to take 2 vehicles. And I thought, I'm not driving alone to Montreal and you taking it. I thought, So it all fit. It was all good.
Yep. So we made it there. On the way there, though, prior to we went through a list of everything that we needed to bring because we always want to make sure we don't want to forget anything, and we didn't forget anything,
We
which was
didn't.
fantastic considering all the stuff that we needed to pack.
Yeah.
And so the only hiccup we had was a card reader. Our transaction card reader wasn't working, so we had to swing by and pick one up on the way to Montreal, which
Yeah.
didn't really delay us that much.
Well, no, but we're all set to go. And it's like, we don't have a machine that works.
So
to process, if we were to make any sales.
Yeah, so everything's fine except for the fact that we can't process the transaction.
Cash only, please.
As long as
Like
our
the
booth
old
looks
days.
good. As long as our booth looks good, we can't
Just
accept
have a look,
our money.
yeah,
But
just have a look, but we can't unless you have cash.
you can look,
Not
touch, but
business.
not buy.
Yeah.
But it didn't slow us down that much. And so we finally got to the hotel, super excited about it, really excited about checking in. And so we grabbed our key and then we went to the underground parking. The reason we picked the van is because I wanted to park in the hotel parking lot because it would be a lot easier to move all of our stuff up to the showroom.
Yeah.
And so we purposefully got a smaller van to fit everything in. So we drive into the parking lot. And
Underground parking garage.
Underground parking garage. Thank you for clarifying that. And it said 6 feet. And so I was thinking, okay, well, we got the van that we wanted to get, so it has to be 6 feet. And then they have a hanging, swinging bar. And so I drive through, and the bar starts to swing back and forth.
No, that's not quite.
I hit it.
Oh, it didn't swing back and forth.
Well, it just said...
It was the thud, the thud, the
Oh,
thud,
yeah.
the thud on the roof of the van. And just as we're approaching the ramp, because, you know, the ramps to those underground are like this, and I'm like, stop!
Yes.
Because I could see the concrete coming towards our foreheads. And
But then-
there's another 2 feet above, which is the van.
Yes. So then I thought, well, maybe that's an optical illusion. And because the ground also sloped down as well, the roof and the ground. And so I thought, okay, well, it has to fit because we ordered this van that was supposed to fit. And so we hit it a little bit. And I just thought, oh my gosh. So I put the car, I wanted to reverse the car. So I switched the gears, put my foot on the gas, and I can't see out of the back at all. And the van didn't move. And I thought, oh my gosh.
No, it did one of these, and it was spinning the wheels, and I didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, but it didn't move. The purpose of it was the van didn't move. So I thought we were stuck. I thought we were sandwiched between the ceiling and the ground. And so
And I just
realized,
didn't want us to move forward another, foot, because we would have been sealing the tunnel permanently.
So I
with the
realized
vehicle.
that I was in park, and that's why the van didn't move.
Put it in the letter R. That means reverse.
And so I was a little stressed.
Oh my gosh! I was like, please exit the vehicle, stage left, and I came.
And if there was
around-
enough room, I would have.
And then I came around and took over because I reversed it out of the parking.
Did
garage.
you?
Oh my gosh! See,
I don't
Doesn't
even remember that.
I know because you're freaking out.
Oh, I don't even remember you.
But bottom line is, we almost had a collision. We would have been stuffed and stuck.
You didn't
into
back it out of the...
Yes, I did back it
No,
out.
you did because
Yes,
I
did.
couldn't see when I was backing
You got
it
out because you got out right away afterwards, and then away we went, and then you
That's
waved
not how
through.
I don't remember that part of it.
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh!
It was all...
I used to live.
I think it's because I'm
in my
traumatized.
hometown. He was traumatized because it was very stressful. I thought, oh my god.
Well, what stressed me out was that we had to back up into the
and there wasn't much
the
room.
road that where cars were going back and forth.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to hit a car,
Right.
and I thought I was stuck. But
And you thought you were already stuck. And the thing is, years ago, I lived in a house that was on a hill like this, not exaggerating, and then I was about 2/3 of the way up and I had to go into my parking space. So
Yeah.
in the wintertime, sometimes I'd have to take 3 runs at it to get up the hill, and I'd have to...
Wow.
I would fishtail and zigzag, and then I just...
am I going to get my
I
eye
just
poked out in
spin
the story?
wheel. I'd have to spin the wheel and just fishtail to get into the parking spot.
Right.
So, a slope like this, backing up, let's just do it.
So we got settled.
out.
We got settled. We were all settled in.
But
and,
then we thought, oh my gosh, now where are we going to park this van full of our goods?
well, it was just next door, so it was no big deal.
But we didn't know that at the time.
No, but we got everything was fine. We checked everything in, calmed down. And
So that was the end of our night. We waddled home and called it a night.
Yep.
Watched a little TV and had to rest up for unloading day, which would be
Friday.
on day 2.
Yes, so Friday.
But before that,
Okay. Before that, what?
we didn't have a cashier.
I already said that.
And I was going to be the cashier.
Yeah, I know. So why was I stressed out? You should be the one stressed out.
Because I had to learn the gadget that we didn't have because it didn't work, remember? So what happened was I'm now the cashier because our cashier, one of my besties, the day of, on
yes.
Thursday when we arrived, because he was arriving after, he had a couple of clients in the morning and then he was going to be arriving. And then he said, no, can't do, tested positive for COVID, no, can't come. I'm like, but who's going to work the machine? Me. I'm very, very good at computers and anything digital because, the Insta, the Facebook.
And the DMs, all your DMs.
And now the Square. Yeah, I'm going to work the Square. So we opened up the package because, remember, we went to Best Buy to pick up
Yes,
the
I
Square.
forgot this piece of the story.
So then when we got to the hotel room and I was going to learn about how to use the Square. And we opened the package and there's no square in the package. What was it?
It was this charger for the Square. So there's no square. So we
It's
still
the loading dock.
It's Thursday night and we still don't have anything to process the transactions.
No, it's Friday morning now.
Oh, did we try it Friday morning or Thursday night? Anyway.
We have no gadget to buy and process transactions.
Yes.
And we're in Montreal. We're about to set up, and we don't know how we're going to be processing transactions. So, hi, Mrs. Concierge. We need to find an electronics store because we need to go get a square.
Yes.
But they knew their stuff in Montreal. We bought a different gadget, a little larger, a little more convenient.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I wasn't even the one processing the transactions, but I saw it was amazing.
He knew it was amazing because even Jamie could do it. Look at her. Look at you go, girl. Oh, thank you. Next.
I did add all
next.
the inventory into the magical box.
Corey, I didn't upload anything. All I had to do was push a button or two.
And I showed you how to use it.
That I was able to do, and it
Yes.
worked out beautifully. So
Yeah.
it all worked out. So we went for breakfast.
Yes. Do you want to show what you picked up at the restaurant?
What about our breakfast? Do you want
It
to
was
talk about
amazing. Oh my gosh.
There's a reason we go there. It's called Le Quartet. Christopher has been many times. We've been before. And he said to the waitress, "Oh my God, I've been waiting for 3 years to have this breakfast."
Yes.
Which they have a traditional breakfast that people go there for.
It comes in a hot iron skillet, and it's potatoes, beans, sausage, bacon, egg, and hash.
And was there a Montreal bagel?
No,
Oh, I had a Montreal
you were the one who
bagel.
got the Montreal bagel. Yeah, there was a Montreal bagel at the table, but it wasn't mine.
Yes. But yeah, traditional baked beans, Canadian, French Canadian baked beans, Quebecois, so good. So yeah, it's an old historical recipe. I have to make them that sometime because I do my grandmother's recipe in traditional baked beans. They're delicious. They're not just beans; they're very special. So you had that. I had something else. It was delicious. Had a wonderful latte. Had a wonderful breakfast, wonderful morning, and then we were off to the races again.
Yes. So we get to the loading dock, and Jamie wants to
look. We have to put. Are we there
No,
now?
yeah. So Jamie wants to get there early, and I said, "Well, we're supposed to be there at 1:30." He said, "No, let's go early." And so he made the right call here. So we went early, and Ginger Snap was there. They went early, turns out. So because I didn't want to be pressured for time. We only had half an hour to unload. It took us an hour to load our truck. So I was worried that we had to get all the stuff from the loading dock up to our spot in half an hour. I didn't see how that was going to happen. But Ginger Snap was there. They came all the way from Calgary, and they had a series of unfortunate events as well. I think so they asked us to help them because they needed some manual laborers to help them lift stuff up. And so
I didn't know that was Ginger Snaps.
yes. Oh my gosh.
Because they were first then.
Yes,
not
they were
second.
first. They were first. We
I
were
thought
second.
you were talking about they were after us.
No.
Right. And some people only had 15 minutes.
Yes.
It was just depending on the schedule.
Yeah. So we helped them out, which was great. I felt that was great because that started this whole feeling of community.
Well, her mother broke her arm.
Yes, her mother had
And then someone else canceled as well because they didn't have another person.
Yeah, so it was nice it was a great feeling to help them up, and then we were able to help them and then move in before 1:30. Before 1:30, yeah, and we got all of our stuff up, and
We had 10 minutes to spare.
here's
We
my
were so
favorite part.
fast.
My favorite part of this part of the story is
There was a favorite part. I
Yes.
just remember feeling
because I think it's hilarious
feeling like a mule.
because it just shows how ignorant the two of us are about this whole process. So we basically said, okay, we're going to start unloading at 1:30, and we'll move all of our stuff to our
We'll be done
vending
by
station.
3:30,
We'll be
4
finished
o'clock.
maybe by 3 o'clock,
4
and we've
o'clock.
booked massages for 4:30 and 5 o'clock.
Because we had been already from loading and stacking and doing 2 days prior.
Yes.
My neck was so stiff and my shoulders, and from all of I told everybody that my arms, I was walking around like this because my shoulders from, rescanning, 300 skeins of yarn and doing the labels, my shoulders were done. And then Ginger Snap said, "Would you mind helping us unload our van as well?" And I said,
Well, you were. I said
said-
I gave you an out because you were.
I took a deep
not
breath.
good shape.
I took a deep breath and said, "Yes, that's fine." And I did lift bins. I mean,
Yeah.
what's a little more acreage?
So anyway, we booked our massage. We're sitting there. We're finally in our vending space, unloading, and we're looking at each other and saying, "This is not going to happen." And so you called and canceled, and we didn't get out of there until 7:00.
It was 7:30.
7:30.
7 was the ideal because our other friends were done, and they said, "Oh, well, join us." And boys, it's 7. We'd like to eat, and we weren't done till about 7:30.
Yeah.
But we had I think we had five of those flatbed carts.
Yeah.
That's how much stuff we had. It didn't seem like much when we set
But
it
you know
up,
what took time? The time was I had to have the colors in the right order.
Oh, gosh.
And I take full responsibility for this. I think I was responsible for not having the massages because I wanted to aesthetically to have everything
Well,
right.
Of course we did.
And
but
so it took a while to
Right,
get that, but we got there.
But this is why we had everything planned ahead of time, you see, because I piled and stacked the bins and filled the bins according to, weight, decay, and the colors, all of our new colors that were all new for the festival, all in this bin, all color coordinated and weight coordinated, so that when you show up, we had talked about it, as you know, I was set up with the shelving like this, was like, this is decay, sock, fingering, worsted, and
Right. Yeah.
This one's like he think he's redecorating the condo or something like that because it's like, oh, this will look really good here. Oh, and we'll put that red. Do we want red beside the blue or blue beside the yellow? No, I'm going to put that one here and that one. No.
Okay.
No, let's switch this way.
How many compliments did we get on our booth?
Orange let's put the orange next to the red. It'll look like sun. It'll look like a rising sunshine and the sky blue above. Okay, let's put the blue. Okay, no, the brown.
He's
has to go on the
exaggerating.
bottom. He flip flopped so many times. I'm like, my row's done. Next row. I think I should put the red with the blue and the blue with the orange and the orange with the yellow and the red with the orange.
Anyway, we get your point, even if it's been slightly exaggerated.
No, it wasn't. I was losing my mind. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's redecorated. It's like, the thing, just take a step back. It did look amazing, and thanks to his work. But my side looked just as good as his. But I was.
Well,
just
you know what?
making
Yours
sure.
looked the side that looked just as good as mine because I redid your side.
When I walked away doing something else, probably. I thought I did an amazing job all on my own.
You did.
Okay.
We'll go with that one.
Anyway, so you did get to go and investigate some of the booths because on day 2 was where there was a couple little lulls.
Yes.
I said, "I'm good. You go."
I took a camera and I'm showing everybody. We'll show everybody what that looked like.
Yes.
We'll show it.
From Quebec City.
Yay! Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I film? How's the show going?
It's been going well.
Good. Excellent. How's the show going?
Awesome.
Good.
How about for you?
Oh well, it's going well.
Good.
So where am I right now? What is this?
You are in Poppy's Pom Pom Shop.
Excellent. And so what's so special about the world here?
Other than Karen, Riley, and
Well,
I?
other than the obvious.
Go ahead.
So our yarn is made out of dog fur. We brush the dogs,
Excellent.
and then we have it milled into yarn.
Fantastic.
And then, so I would say touch this, but you're on video.
Oh, it's like butter.
Yes!
It's beautiful.
And very, very, very warm.
That's gorgeous. Gorgeous stuff. I'll be back.
We'll be here.
I'll be here before it
And we have
closes.
our beautiful palms.
Oh, those are nice.
Recycled fur coats.
Wow. That's really nice. That's beautiful. Really nice. Thank you. How's the show going?
It's good.
Good?
It's a lot quieter than I was expecting.
Yes.
So it's a good thing.
Yep.
You know, just getting back into it, warming up for the next events. But it's good.
So what's your top selling yarn today? What are people
sock
interested in?
yarn.
Sock yarn. Oh,
yarn.
yes.
Everything here.
Yep. Very
That's
nice.
what people like. Merino nylon. It's not very original. People love classics, but
Yep.
that's what it is. And that's what that was.
Fantastic. How's it going?
It's going great.
Oh, and you're working on your grandmother?
I am. All in porcupine quills, dyed with tea and onion skins, honoring my grandmother who passed away at 97.
She'd be so proud. So beautiful.
I think she would be. My herd has thinned.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Hello.
How's the show going?
It's going really good.
Good. Hello. So we're close to the end. So what was the number one seller?
Spinning fiber here.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Normally one of our least selling.
That's interesting. Well, I'm not surprised because so many people asked me if I had any spinning fiber.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by that. That's great. That's great.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what booth is this?
Fireweed Fiber.
From where?
We're from Winnipeg.
Winnipeg. Awesome. That's great. So your name?
Erin.
Erin. Nice to meet you.
I'm Tristan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So can I get a shot of your tattoo?
Absolutely.
Very cool. I noticed that last night. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Safe travels. Hello. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Hello.
How you doing?
How's it going?
It's been great.
So what's your top seller?
Oh, DK.
DK. Yeah, everybody's asking me about DK.
Everybody, I mean, DK is the way. It's
Yep.
not too heavy, it's not too light,
Yeah.
it's quick.
True.
We're at Dauphina Collective.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
Well, I am Sophie. I am the bag maker, and I'm also the yarn enabler. So I've got some sticks and stones.
So tell me your top selling bag.
Top selling bag, I would say it is this size, the large project bag by Dauphina.
Yes.
And
I love this.
yeah, it's really fun.
Old school tattoo.
So most of the fabric I pick is actually from indie graphic designer from all over the place, but I mostly work with one from Victoria B.C. and her name is Cynthia Frenette, and she is the designer of this, most of that, and yeah, these are the knitting related. I've been hijacked and I sold out of a lot of stuff.
I'm like, okay, give me 4 like that, please. So we did that.
Hello, Patrick Knits. How's it going?
Fine, yourself?
Good, thanks.
Good show. We had a good show, huh?
Awesome. Yeah, it was very good.
Cool.
So what's your top seller here?
Self-striping.
Yeah, everybody's been
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
about that. Yep. That's
Yeah.
great.
And for sure my shawl Empire Inca.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That was my best seller. Thanks to pass by. I really appreciate.
Yes. And so your name for this?
Patrick Knits.
Patrick Knits. Excellent. Fantastic. Great.
Thank you very much.
Who do we have here?
Hi, I'm Karen from Emalia.
And what do you do?
I'm a bag maker.
Where are your bags?
My bags are right here.
Oh, excellent. Very nice.
Thank you.
And who else do we have?
I'm Isabelle from Beau Fibre, and I'm a yarn dyer, and this is my yarn.
Oh, gorgeous. And so what weights are your yarns?
I have fingering, I have DK, I have a bit of worsted and bulky from my
Yep.
winter collection,
Yep.
and I have mohair.
Awesome. Beautiful. And who do we have here?
Tiffany from Twist Stitch. I just opened a local yarn store in Laval, in Old Saint Rose.
And what do you do other than run a shop?
I knit.
And what else? Do you make anything?
Yeah,
Out of
I make
wood?
stitch marker. I'm knitting. So yeah, I created those. I think I can
yes.
say beautiful.
They are beautiful. Yes, you
yeah.
can say that.
Yeah, and those stitch marker right here with a witchy vibe.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Il y a un kiosque de bâtiment. OK, OK.
So you had a good show?
Yeah, it was our first show ever. First show ever. We are turning 3 this summer, so this is our first show, and it's just so much fun. We're so happy to be here.
And so what are you wearing? Who are you wearing?
I am wearing myself. Actually, I dyed the yarn. So Willerton Estate yarn in the color Reggie, and this is actually Quebecois designer. So Marie-Christine Lévesque, and this is called the Syrah. It's like a Quebecois no frills if you're familiar with petite knit, but she has these beautiful, gorgeous like sleeve details.
Look at the sleeves.
Sleeve details. This is what sells the garment.
That is gorgeous.
So
And so who are you?
I'm Zoe.
And what does Zoe do?
Zoe does everything.
Yes.
That is me. So I am part owner of Crochet & Co. So we're a yarn shop in Verdun. You guys have been to our store before.
We have, yes.
So we are your buddies. And I dye yarn as well. I sell beautiful yarns, and I support local artists like Annie Perrin. So she's a good buddy of ours as well.
And so what's the story with Annie?
Hi. I'm actually a full-time school nurse, so I do that. I live in Montreal, and I work in Verdun.
Annie asked us to come and help with teaching knitting to some of the grade 7s at the high school she works at.
Oh, fantastic.
And so, yeah, we partnered up together, taught them how to knit. Annie provided the yarn. Yep. I provided the time and knowledge and patience.
Yep.
And we had a really great time.
Yeah, really great time. So I'm a school nurse, and then I'm also a hand dyer.
Yes.
And I dye pop culture inspired yarn, so I have Taylor Swift here today and Canto.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
of course Bridgerton.
Yes.
So I do different things that inspire me, but that's what I brought today.
And so what was the top seller?
It's gone, but it was probably all my Bridgerton colors.
Oh, yes. That makes sense.
They're all
Beautiful.
gone now, though.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. So what do we have here?
So I'm at Crochet. I'm a crochet pattern designer, and I also sell furls hooks. So
Yes.
that's what I've been doing all weekend.
Fantastic.
And of course, I know who you are.
I'm Christopher.
Yes, I know.
Those are gorgeous.
Thank you. Those are Furls Crochet. So they're a small company in Texas, in the States.
Okay.
Harrison started making hooks so that his girlfriend wouldn't be sore holding the skinny hooks.
Oh, okay.
So they're ergonomic, so they help our joints when we crochet for a long time.
Fantastic. And so what do we have here?
So these are my crochet sock patterns.
Yes.
I started designing crochet socks because I was told that I couldn't make crochet socks that are just as comfortable as their knit cousins, and that's just not true.
A knitter probably told you that.
Sorry?
A knitter probably told you that.
Absolutely. They also told me that I couldn't use self-striping yarn to make crochet socks,
Oh
and
my
I
gosh.
totally can.
Wow, these are great.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm a contradictory person. Like I like to do what people say that I can't do.
Sure.
And I wanted to prove, and they're all just as comfortable as knit socks. You can wear them in your shoes, and I just love making them.
And they're also gorgeous.
Thank
My
you
gosh.
so much.
This looks very like the 50s.
Yeah, I love the
retro
mix of
40s,
those
50s.
colors.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Really, really nice.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Nice
Bye.
meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Hello. So what's going on here? Where am I?
You're at Colorista, and I'm Genevieve, and I dye all that yarn.
Beautiful. So what is your most popular?
I believe my basic stuff. It's really my merino nylon.
Oh, yes.
So it's really popular, and I have a lot of colors, so people can have fun and just mix and match.
And what percentage is it?
It's 80% merino, 20% nylon.
Okay.
So it's a workhorse, you know?
Yep. Fantastic.
And this is really popular too. That's for planned pooling. So every time you get to that color, you do a little floret or bubbles or
nice.
something.
Oh, what a good idea. That's great.
So that's really nice.
Fantastic.
People really like that.
Yep.
It's fun.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Before we get into talking about what we picked up at the marketplace, I want to ask what it was like being a booth babe.
We didn't have a booth babe.
You just said you were the booth babe.
Well, you said I was.
You were the Jane of all trades,
I was
behind the cash.
I was the Jane of all trades because, so what's the question again? I had a lot of experiences in the booth because, first of all, cashier. Oh, was I ever a cashier in my lifetime? No. So I had to learn that. That all went well. That went great. But everybody who purchased something had to come through me and had to have a little chat.
But I looked over a few times and there were tears coming out of your eyes. But I don't think it was because of the.
I was blown away by the
stress.
colorway. I thought, oh my god, that's my favorite. That's my favorite color.
No, you were blown away by how beautifully set out the display was.
Yeah, all that work
and how
you put together. Yeah, all that work you put into it.
The 4 hours of arranging.
There was many very special moments, I have to say.
Yes. What were some of your highlights?
Some of the highlights. Oh gosh. Well. It was a couple of. I mean, there were so many people that said nice things, and most were. Oh, I don't want to get emotional all about it. Most were. Oh, we've not been out in a while.
Listen,
and I don't think you folks have been out in a while. Really, some yes, some no. We live in the woods. We live in the cabin. Our highlight is the UPS guy. We just ordered things like, oh, let's order a popsicle. So the UPS guy come out and go, hey, how you doing? Good to see someone.
Okay, that's understatement. You get a little more excited than that when the UPS guy shows up.
Yes, that's right. Honest. I do. He drives by when we're walking the dog, and then we go, and he actually waves to us because it's the same guy all the time. He has this route. So actually, that's our our one-on-one interactions with people. So you show up at a festival, which we haven't done in, a couple of years, 2 to 3, 2 years for sure. And there are dozens and dozens, well, hundreds of people.
Yeah, right? More than a dozen.
Hundreds.
There were more than a dozen in our booth.
Hundreds. So, and a lot of them all, the overall was, thank you. You guys, brought some smiles and chuckles and laughs and why I get emotional is because they think that thank you and I think no thank you because we're doing it, we're having a good time. We always have a good time, we do. And honestly, it was a highlight of getting through this past couple of years because we keep saying like we don't see you there, and we're having a good time doing it. So that experience has brought us on every other week when we're doing one, it's something to look forward to and something that we just have an absolute great time doing. And then to hear that there are real people out there who say this was their highlight of their day, tuning into us and looking forward and having smiles, and it really got them through those difficult times. Yeah. So I found that to be extra special.
See, I'm channeling my inner Barbara Walters because remember, in all of her interviews, she asked questions to get the interviewee to tear up.
Yeah, save it for the camera. Save it for the camera, you always say. Or RuPaul, save it for the camera.
So, yeah, there were many wonderful moments. I will tell you a couple of my highlights if you want to hear about them.
Yes.
I will. Firstly, I will say I was a little overwhelmed when the doors opened. Actually, walking even to get into the marketplace, walking past the people who'd been lined up for an hour trying to get in, and just that kind of hit me. But then seeing the people come in and come to our booth and looking at the yarn and buying the yarn, I just thought, like, it's one thing to think about it and think about what it's going to look like. It's another thing to actually see it, and then having people talk about your yarn and whatnot. It was pretty amazing.
And the first group of ladies that were waiting a long time, I thought maybe they were vendors because they were there so early, and then they were regular folk waiting to get in. They're like, oh, hey, it's Cowboy Knits. Oh, and the other guy. And we're just had a good chuckle right from the get-go.
But then a couple of others said, oh, there's Jamie and the other guy.
Yeah, there's Jamie. Oh, and the other guy. But that was nice.
Do you remember who bought our first skein of yarn?
Oh, gosh. I could picture her. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, of course. Not the first purchase, but the first purchase of yarn.
Okay.
It was Amy from the Bien Aimee. She was stationed beside us in Espace Tricot the whole weekend, and she came over and bought yarn, and I was so touched by that. But as I was with everyone purchasing our yarn, it was pretty amazing. But there were two girls who came into our booth. They sat down, or they were looking around. They were in our booth for 10 minutes at least, and then they left, and they came back about an hour later, and then they were looking again, and then they sat down and they asked if I could take their picture looking at the yarn.
I remember that, the two sitting over here just right behind.
Yeah.
The cashier, me.
Yeah.
And they were there for a while. They're going through and they're pulling out and they're feeling, oh my gosh, they're just like, and they're sitting in their living room having a great time.
Well, and the awesome thing was she gave me her phone, and she said, "Can you take a picture of us?" So it wasn't a selfie; it was a photo of them with the yarn.
Looking through.
That was so touching. I couldn't believe it. And she ended up buying some great yarn as well. But there was just, the customers were fantastic, coming through and talking to us. And I was talking to a botanist. That was really exciting. The knowledge level of people buying the yarn was very high, and some of the people were coming in and they were talking about Kiviot. They were talking about different blends or different bases. I was so impressed with
And then also a lot of people were coming up to you and asking about what the Polworth or the BFL was. And then they said, "No, don't worry. No, we want to talk to the other guy because he knows everything."
They did say that.
He knows everything. And so I was like reiterating, it's like, oh my
No, you were like this. You were talking to them and you were cashing in the...
I was like... Oh, and giving a history lesson like this, and then and next... Yeah, no, I wasn't doing that. I have to focus on one thing at a time. But it did have to refresh all of that history, because, you know, the Polworth, I was like, oh yeah, that was it. You know, the Dennis brothers in Australia, and they came, you know, from Cornwall, England, and they landed in Tasmania, and then they bred the descendants of the Sons took over, and then in the 60s they bred this Polworth sheep with the Lincoln Long wool and the Saxon Merino, and those brothers to this day still have a farm there from those original Polworth that they came up with. And we met, well, we didn't meet the woman from Australia, but we were invited to go to Australia because she says she's on the neighboring farm of these original Polworth breeders.
In Tasmania.
In Tasmania.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about, you know, the Saxon Merino, and I was going on the history of the Saxon Merino from the 1800s and from the medieval times, and
it was
just a history revisited, and it was like, oh, I'm glad my knowledge was useful.
Yes, sure. I agree. And it was also great that there were so many diverse backgrounds. Like some people that didn't know anything about wool and came in and were asking a ton of questions, which was fantastic.
Right.
A lot of people didn't know that it was naturally dyed, so I have to do a better job of advertising that when they come in.
Yes.
But I made sure I told everyone about that. So, but it was great, and the boys were out too in full force in Montreal. We saw a lot of male knitters and crocheters out. A number of them that we knew came out, so that was nice to see.
It's nice to see.
And there was a lovely woman who came around, and I asked if she was checking out of the hotel, and she said, no, this suitcase is for my yard purchases. that was.
Is she the one she said she was stocking up for the winter?
Yes,
I
loved
she's
it.
just like starting to stock up. She stocks up so that when winter comes, she's got a full stock and a
yes.
Is she the one who bought like?
Yeah, a lot.
I think she wanted. She definitely bought a lot of the one because it was a sweater.
Sweater quantity. Yes.
Obviously, she was going to knit herself a sweater.
But she was also so happy.
She had
sweetheart. She had a smile from ear to ear. She was just so happy walking around through the whole.
And then do you remember the woman from Virginia?
Yes.
And she came specifically.
What a sweetheart.
She said she came to the festival, to Knit City Montreal, specifically because she wanted to come and meet us and buy some yarn.
That was really sweet. She was such a.
That's incredible.
Yeah, she was.
Oh,
lovely.
she was. Yes. She was wonderful.
And then there was another person who came to our space, and she was on a call with someone from the UK. The person from the UK asked her to come to our booth to buy some yarn. So I was talking to her. Well,
she was also like, nanny, 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 I'm standing next to Cowboy Knits. And then she actually passed the phone over to you to chat with her in the UK, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that go?
Oh, that was great. It was wonderful. I think
the other thing is, sorry you couldn't be here today. What did you say?
No, it was so low. It was so nice to,
Well, it's
to be
kind of
able to
shocking
talk.
too.
Yep. And I lost my voice the second day. And it's still not back yet, but it was because I'm not used to talking as much as this one. So he had no problem at all. I sound like Lauren Bacall. I was definitely channeling Lauren Bacall in the
You're talking like
second
this.
day.
I had a rough
Lauren
voice,
Bacall after a rough night.
Yeah, of smoking and drink or something.
Yeah.
But because I didn't even know. I was hearing this voice all day, and I thought, who's in our booth? And there were no men except for this one. And so I was like, it was quite funny. I was starting to, but
I want to talk about. Someone came in and gave me advice on what to do. I want to talk about
what to do
for my voice. So someone who is also an actor and a very talented dyer, Remy, came into the booth and he was chatting, and I told him about my voice, and so he gave me a recommendation. He said that I needed an enema.
Which I don't understand.
So, well, neither did I. So I asked, well, what does any
that's
kind
like
of enema?
ends.
Is it any type of enema, or well, your body absorbs it a lot quicker? But I said, how do I order one of those things, or what do I do? And so I had to do a fact check. I had to do a fact check. So I called my helpline, a few vendors or a few booths over, and asked, "Is this true?" Or and she said she confirmed that it was. And then I asked somebody else, and they said no.
And this was Delphina bags, which she collaborated. And we had some wonderful sales in those bags. People love them. Delphina, friend Sophie, aka Delphina, and she's like, "Oh no, that's yes."
So
a suppository of sorts that absorbs some if it's for the throat.
So I didn't get one of those, and I chose for a throat lozenge.
Oh my god!
It was a lot easier to access. And the other thing was I was wearing a kilt, and so
you know where this is going, folks. You know where this is going.
The women are very feisty, and so a lot of them wanted to know what I was wearing underneath. And then there was a woman who was lying on the ground.
Did she fall over, or was she pretend to?
I don't think she pretended. I don't know. But then
we also mentioned she was down.
But I will say
see your legs.
But but that was on Sunday. I think by the time Sunday came around, I was so used to answering that question. But you also, when I was getting ready on Sunday, you let somebody in the. I was having a shower, and you let somebody in the.
Oh no, I didn't let them in. It was they're friends of ours, and they're like, Where's Cabin Boy Knits? Oh, shower. And the door was open a crack, and if you look through the crack via the mirror, there was a reflection. So she's like, oh my, it's Cabin Boy Knits in the shower.
Oh, well, the crack is like this big. The crack was big enough for their head to go into.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I think I scared her. Anyway, so that was. So
and
that's
also, there are many people who said wonderfully nice things. There was also. I'm trying to think if her name was Marie, and I don't see our bags. We said we would pull up the bag. We'll put it up.
Yes.
Because she had made the bags for us in our prior episode. My bag with the red high heel shoe. And it's over here somewhere. I will pull it up. We'll pull it up. And she came by and she says, Jamie, because she always comments, she always has wonderful things to say. And she made us those bags. And so she's like, I was like, oh my gosh. So, big hugs all around.
What about the other super fan that you had?
The other super fan was, okay, I'm going to try to say this and not get touched by emotion.
It's not going to happen.
She was by far so full of life and so upbeat and positive and smiling and laughing and full of energy. She brought us chocolates. There are a few left. She brought us chocolates, and she works with Alzheimer's and dementia people in a residence, and it really touched home. My mother passed away this weekend of the event, and she said to me,
but years before.
Yes, it's 5 years. And so she said, the first thing she said, and here you are, you're in a happy place. You're in a happy place with happy people, and how much more wonderful could that be? And then, her energy and her level of I couldn't imagine, during this last couple of years period, people aren't seeing their loved ones. And these people who are vulnerable in these homes, who are not seeing their loved ones, who really, some of them are different levels or states in their, in their disease and dementia. And she's the person they see. And how wonderful is she? And I thanked her for what she does, because, bringing a smile to people's face because of her positive, upbeat, so full of life energy. And so she says, you know, she's working an overnight shift, and she says, oh my gosh. She goes, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, she's got a break. She runs over to the staff room or wherever she goes to turn on YouTube, and she says, on my break, I watch you guys. And that gets her through the night, and she can have some laughs and chuckles. Like, come on. It doesn't get, oh gosh, I don't want to get emotional. Okay, it doesn't get better than that. Because, wow, really? We bring that to her, and she shows up, and she brought me and filled my heart, and I gave her a hug, and I thanked her profusely. And what was the other thing she brought to the table? Has to do with books.
You're in her bedroom every night.
Oh my gosh, I'm just reliving the experience all over again. It's just like
she swears that she read the book, that one of the books you were on the cover of. And she reads it to her husband at night.
She's been reading Harlequin romance, she says, forever. And
wonderful.
you know, and what was very particular is because I did a series, it's a very limited series, and it was called the Intrigue series. And there was also the NASCAR series, but the Intrigue series. And she says, I know that I've read books with you on the cover. And I thought, oh my goodness, we're not going there. And she did, and we laughed. So, you know, it was like...
So the bottom line is...
It was like tears and laughter, and it was beyond spectacular and amazing.
So the bottom line is you get around. You get around.
Yes.
I was just thinking, I said enema, but I meant suppository.
Oh my gosh. He went on and on. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
The recommendation. I'm glad I didn't
put something up one end and it helps you at this end.
I'm glad I didn't follow the instructions, because I even got the instructions screwed up. So, oh my gosh. Okay, so why don't we look at some of the stuff that we picked up?
Okay, so let's just...
Oh, but we didn't mention another person.
There's all kinds of people. We're going to forget people.
Yeah, well, you didn't mention the grocery girls.
Yeah, excuse me. Wonderful.
They're exactly like they are on
in
Zoom land. No, not in Zoom land, in YouTube world.
They could have been walking around with like a television set around them, because they were like,
it was like this. It was a swarm of bees. So the queen bees were there, Tracie and Jodi, and they were walking around, and there was just a swarm of people following them all the way around. It was hilarious.
So happy to be
They were so nice. They're sweethearts.
Happy, upbeat gals and no nonsense gals, like Liz, smiling, and you were chatting a lot with Tracie, and Jodi's like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, oh my god. It's like as if we're so much alike. We just clicked. It's like, oh no, you have the best hair. No, you wear it better. No, you wear it. And oh my god, and then it was like everything we responded back and forth.
I know,
it was just like, it was like she was me and I was her, only male female version of. But we had a good giggle, and so look forward to spending a little more time with them maybe at the next festival.
And they bought some yarn as well.
They did buy some yarn, which was wonderful.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It's great to see them, and many, many more. We could just go on and on.
Yes.
But the overall feeling was, it was just wonderful to touch, to literally touch people, give them some hugs, and to know that, you know, we're here in this cabin talking here, and then every time I said, no, these are real people. There are real people out there, and here they are, the real people, up close and personal. That was by far the best part of the entire weekend.
Yeah, and I know you've said that I was kind of wired through the whole weekend, but I was told on Sunday how zen I was. And how relaxed and calm I was.
Zen.
So there you go. I think it was I was tired.
And what about the ladies? The ladies who sent me to the
talking
girls were zen. I'm thinking, and what was your response to?
Oh, they said you guys are so zen, and I said, really? Have you met Jamie? So I sent you over.
Sent me over.
I unchained you from the cache. And you went over and had a chat.
Yeah, and I chatted for a while. We had some good giggles and laughs, and we talked about, I don't even remember.
Jem. You told them your name was Jem.
We talked about the episode of Jem because they thought I should change it to Jem from my high school, you know, who she would every morning walk down the hallways with her books and I could see her coming down the stairs. I'm going upstairs, and it was always, bonjour, Jem. And I think she was a little smitten with me, and she ended up working for the CBC for years and years and years and years. I'd love to cross paths with her again. But yes, I met the lovely ladies, and we had a good chat. And also, you know, it's kind of funny because you say Zen, and the energy was, and Jodi had that. She's like, oh my God, she says, the same with what we said about them was myself, because you were saying how I was so full of energy, that was like the real deal.
Okay, so some of the things we picked up in the marketplace, some of them we purchased and some of them we didn't purchase. She gave us something. She gave us some cards.
Wonderful.
Which was really nice. So they're fantastic. They're all knitting themed cards. I'll take photos of them.
They're beautiful.
Put them here, 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 and here.
They're beautiful.
They're really nice.
They really are.
And then this is, I'm guessing this is for you. This.
Oh my gosh. This is the first time I see these. They're beautiful. Oh my gosh.
And this is, well, it's French. It doesn't matter if I have glasses on.
Your glasses don't translate.
My glasses don't translate English to
French.
French.
This is what I was supposed to make. This is what I was supposed to make in the one episode after we saw the les tricoteurs.
Yes, yeah.
We didn't mention les tricoteurs du quartier. They came by.
Oh my gosh! So and the owner came by of this store, and I was nervous.
Because she's
inspecting the yarn.
She's the inspector manager at her shop, and she's gets things done.
Yeah.
They came by. That was so wonderful to see them, because we hadn't seen them since we were in Montreal doing our little tour months ago, and so they stopped by the booth. It was so wonderful to see them. They made some purchases and hugs all around. The mother, the daughter, and then the one who works there as well. She was there as well, lovely. Yeah. And I was going to make us, because they had given us a wonderful apron to cook with, and I was supposed to make this. So this is
what is this? Did you tell people what this is?
So this is from Julie Asselin.
Yes, along with these,
with the cards, and I was supposed to make this exact recipe, and it's a pudding chômeur de ma grand-maman. So it's her grandmother's recipe, Julie Asselin, for the pudding chômeur, which I don't know exactly what it is. Let me just read a bit of it, but it's a traditional Quebecois recipe. So guess what the first ingredient is?
Butter. Flour.
French Canadian Quebec.
Oh, lard.
This time of
Poutine.
year. This time of year.
Oh, maple.
I mean, Quebec only exports a gazillion gallons of maples. They're the largest maple sugar producer in the world. Several years ago, they even had a transport trailer. It's like liquid gold. A transport trailer of maple syrup from Quebec was hijacked and stolen to sell on the black market. That's how expensive and how in demand it is. So this calls for maple syrup, brown sugar, butter, and cornstarch. Whisk everything together.
Awesome.
So it makes a batter. So there's a batter.
And you can do that on our next episode, hopefully.
I'm going to do this. I told the girls, I said, never had a chance to do the pudding chômeur. So I think it's going to turn into some kind of a sweet. What is it? What's the English dish that you have with roast beef and you get the
pudding or
what is it called? The thing. It's called something pudding.
Beef Wellington.
No.
Figgy pudding.
No.
Oh, it's the pudding. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called something, but it's not really a pudding. It's more like a bun.
Yes.
What is it called?
I don't know.
Yeah, you have it when you have a beef dinner, and it comes
Yorkshire.
with a Yorkshire pudding, and it's not a pudding. I think this is sort of a sweet version of that, because it sounds like with a batter, it's going to be
excellent,
like a Yorkshire pudding. So thank you, Julie Asselin, and I'm going to make this.
And let's carry on with the theme of cards.
Okay.
So Catherine Pelletier, if those of you who've been watching us for a while will remember her name. We did a collaboration with her a couple of years ago for the Twist Festival, and she created some drawings incorporating knitting in them. And so she gave us a calendar, and I went and bought some cards, and I love the cards. They're so beautiful.
And again, they're beautiful, beautiful works of art. They're
so
incredible.
Knitting incorporated. She's
You'll
so
put
talented.
some photos up, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and I can't. The calendar has multiple images for each month, and she's drawn all of these.
Yes. Right? Yep.
She's quite the artist. These are magnificent. They're beautiful.
I'll keep my glasses on. So this is really interesting.
Can we eat it?
No, but it's paint. Thank you for supporting Indigenous family business. Our paints are made with local Manitoulin Island honey, wild crafted tree sap, hand gathered, washed, and sifted Manitoulin stone, and the finest light fast pigments. We strive to be plastic free in our items and packaging. A focus on making and packaging using natural materials like beeswax and hand cut and reclaimed wood.
That's amazing.
So it's paint basically.
Wow. Like all natural.
Yes. Yeah. I was super excited. I saw these actually in a magazine and I was really excited to get it. And so this is what they look like.
Oh. That's fantastic.
And it's beam paints. BEAM.
That's wonderful.
And it is...
Oh, and they're beautifully laid out in this little wooden palette. That's fantastic.
Yep, it's fantastic.
I might try to, well, I can never paint as well as...
And then we'll keep on the Indigenous theme.
Okay.
And...
That's wonderful.
So this is from Indigeniste. And it's Tara Francis. She's a Micmac artist. Oh my gosh, is she ever amazing. She is incredible. She was doing, when I went up to have a conversation with her, she was working on, she had birch bark, and she was using porcupine quills and making a portrait of her grandmother. It was so...
Oh, wow.
Who lived till she was 98 years old.
Wow.
It was absolutely beautiful. And so here is a lovely pin, and it is a sheep, and it is made out of porcupine quills, and it's on deer hide and wool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
My phone's ding-donging. I usually shut it off.
That's beautiful. She's very, very talented.
Sorry, interrupt. Yeah, that is so, and it's so delicate, but I love it with the birch bark, and then this is probably some sort of sweetgrass or something like the twine she used.
Yep.
All natural, and then a little bit of fuzzy fuzz, which is part of the...
So while you were attached to the cash register, chained, I went over to Longway Homestead, one of my favorite farms in Canada, and they had a great display. And so I picked up a hat from them, and it says, support your local fiber farmer.
Nice.
So that's fantastic. And I picked up a coloring book. The coloring book is full of facts about sheep. It's great. It talks about the number of breeds of sheep, what sheep eat, all kinds of amazing facts.
I'm going to have to study that because I might learn a thing or two.
I think you will learn a thing or two, and you can share it with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great.
And,
really happy.
When we had a couple of little lulls, maybe in the late afternoon, I thought, yeah, you should go do a little walkabout and do some chats, meet some people. I didn't have a chance to do that because I had a couple of write-ups because I was chatting with the clientele and there might have been a person waiting to make a purchase, and I tell you, she's one tough cookie.
But you were great at multitasking, and when some of our customers only spoke French, and so
when they struggled, I
did a great job, I think, of saying hello. That's it.
Bonjour. Okay, you need to go talk to this one. I give everyone the benefit that they, a lot of them can speak English, but they're more comfortable with French. So I would just pretend that I don't speak French, but then when I...
Well, it didn't help that when I said he does speak French.
I know, but when I would see that, as soon as they start to speak it, I could see that they're struggling, then I kicked into French mode. But as the day progressed, I got a little more tired. It's a little more challenging than to switch it on and off and go into French mode. But I had, I'm always getting, people are surprised if they didn't know that I spoke French. Maybe they haven't watched, they could see me doing introductions in French, but they were quite surprised at my level of French. That it's like, well,
they thought you were reading it just from the teleprompter.
They're like, you're French, and I said, well, yes, it is my first language.
Okay, and so I just want to mention one more item.
Well, you can't even see that. It's just blending in with your...
Oh, that's true.
It just disappeared. It just disappeared.
How's that?
So, what do we have here?
So, Ginger Snap, sweetest people on earth, came over and gave us bags each for helping them, which she did not need to do.
That's wonderful.
And it was super nice. So we have these two matching bags that are in the Cabin Boy motif.
And did you see what's in the
I
inside?
did see, I did see what's inside.
Oh my gosh!
So there's little
it's like a
jumper jacks. There's little lumberjacks inside as well.
No, but they're not just lumberjacks.
They have beards.
No. Oh my gosh! We'll have to take a photo. They're lumberjack beavers.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's different than a lumberjack. They got a beaver tail and ain't the kind you eat.
Well, it's not just any beaver; it's a lumberjack beaver.
I know. That's so good. And this is are they the ones that we help unload?
Oh my god! Have you been listening to this presentation?
Well,
it's ginger stuff. Yes,
about them at the
it
beginning,
is.
'cause,
Yes.
See, this is it. Because I know everybody watches right from beginning to end every single time. I know they do. But just in case someone stepped away to make a sandwich, like my good friend in Vancouver, because when JB starts to talk history, that's my cue to go make a sandwich and a coffee. So if they missed it, we did help them out in the beginning, but they did not have to do this.
Now, before we leave,
thank you, Ginger Snaps.
Yes, thank you, Ginger Snap. So before we leave,
Is that everything? No, what about, I got something.
Oh, you have something? Okay. Okay, I showed mine, now you show mine.
I didn't buy this at the festival. This was when we're at breakfast at Le Quartet, and you know, there's something to be said. I think something caught my eye, and it was on the cover.
Yes.
And that would be, guess, a donut. But it's Quebecois desserts. A dessert book with Quebecois recipes. And you know how I like old historical, and these are all French recipes. So, you know, we're always trying to come up with, oh, what's Jamie cooking? What's Jamie baking? I'm going to do some of these. There's preserves. There's all kinds. Oh my gosh. Blueberry roll.
So
Saint Jean blueberry. So I picked this up for myself.
And I think we can guarantee that in upcoming episodes, you'll be using that book to bake some things.
And we have to say we had a wonderful night at Knit Night where we were able to socialize. We met some new people. We had some giggles and
the hostess with
two.
And the hostess with the hostesses.
Hostesses.
Yeah, it was
Wonderful.
Claudia, Sasha, and Amy from the Bien Aimee.
And they did an amazing job.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. And lots of trivia.
The trivia was fun.
Yeah, our table didn't win.
We knew quite a few of the answers.
I was surprised. Yeah.
We were up there, but then of course there were ties because some people there were a few tables. I think there were three tables perhaps that had all of the answers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that rolled along nicely. It was a really wonderful night.
And you almost won one of the categories.
I did.
Yeah, it was because we were leaving our room and we were going to Knit Night, and Jamie thought, should I bring my sweater with me or
Yes,
not? And
I
one
did.
of the contests was who has the oldest knitted garment.
And I brought this, and
You need
then
a vintage
I didn't have it
sweater
on me because I picked this up just recently. Mary Maxim.
Yeah.
Right, the hunting scene with the pheasant, and it fits perfectly, and it's in mint condition. And an older fella in the next town in Belleville happened to have this online.
Did
for
you say
sale.
feller?
Fella.
Oh, older fella.
Yeah. And he'd had this for 30 plus years, he said, and he thought, what am I going to do with that?
It's great.
So it's wonderful, and it's from Mary Maxim. So this thing is old.
Yep.
And I love it.
So that was...
But I didn't have it with me.
That was it.
So
it was fantastic. We had a great time.
So all in all,
it was amazing. And Fiona and Amanda did a phenomenal job organizing the first time in Montreal.
Yes.
It was great. A huge success.
I would say so. And even, there were limited numbers because we're still, there's rules and regulations, limited numbers. And even with the limited numbers, it was I would say, a success.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
It was amazing. We had such a great time. I'm still recovering. My voice is still recovering.
Still recovering. Do you know, unbelievable, because I knew that I was tired and my body I was like, oh my gosh, my legs not used to standing for hours, talking. I'm not even used to talking for hours.
I think honestly, when we were driving home, there was a period of probably 15 minutes where you didn't talk. And that's when I knew you were tired.
Oh, this is true. I am silent at times because I like quiet. I like to sit in a room. I don't listen to
You don't listen to music,
radio.
which kind of drives me nuts.
I love silence. Which is kind of strange.
Now I understand it, though.
But yes, my voice was a little hoarse. I mean, I used to do special events where I hosted and I emceed, and I was also hosting booths at trade shows and fairs, and I would talk the entire day, but it's been a long time. And even during those times, you do lose your voice. But we got back and we slept. I slept for an hour and a half yesterday.
Yep.
I was in bed early. Then I got up. I thought it was okay. And I still yesterday slept. I fell asleep. I had to put my head down. I slept for an hour and a half midday.
Yeah.
And then I still went to bed early. And I still slept in this morning.
Yes.
So that's saying something.
Okay.
She worked hard for her money.
Shall we wrap up now?
So hard for it, honey.
Yeah, so that was our trip. We had an amazing time. We would definitely do it again. The people
again.
made it. The sense of community was unbelievable. Everyone was so nice. And it was great. And when things didn't work out, people were there to help you. It was great. Like
everybody else
even the machine, like when we were there, yeah, to be honest, a little stressed at the beginning because we'd never used this machine before. But our Dragon Strings was right across from us, and they said they would come over and help. If just call her.
We did have a couple of glitches on day 2, and they were right there to help. Everybody wants to help.
Amazing.
Everybody came by to say hello. We saw some old friends, made some new friends,
yes,
new connections, and best of all, oh gosh, I don't want to get teary-eyed. Best of all, thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for showing up close and personal. Thank you for the continuing support. And thank you. Keep the comments coming. We do have some festivals coming up as well, which we
do.
Look forward
Twist
to. There's Twist coming up, and then the East Coast and PEI. And we met people who were like from PEI, or we're going to be in PEI as well. We met so many people. So
yeah,
thank you. Merci très bien les Québécois pour votre plaisir, votre joie de vivre, et just thank you to the Francophones and all of the fans and people who made our weekend extra special. And
thank you.
Continue to do so.
Yeah, thank you very much, and have a great week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay, so we're at Knit Night in Montreal. You can hear a pin drop. Actually, I can hear a lot of needles clicking and clacking away and voices rising above and filling the atmosphere. It's very, very exciting.